Welcome to today's Coach's Corner from the GAFE Summit in Palo Alto, California. Today's summit is special guest and all-star Edtech person, Jenny Magiera. As always, please like, share, tweet, compliment, whatever you'd like. I've learned a ton from this video series. Hopefully you will too. Hello everybody and welcome to Coach's Corner, and I'm here with this special guest today. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hi everyone, my name's Jenny Magiera.
And of course, if you haven't heard from her, you need to check her out on Twitter. Just one sentence about yourself.
I am the Chief Technology Officer for Des Plaines Public School District 62, right by Chicago, Illinois. And before that, I was a 4th and 5th grade math teacher.
So we're doing this little impromptu interview here, and excuse me, we're doing it selfie style, so camera's a little shaky, but here we go. All right, so Jenny, a little bit about what I'm doing is that I'm going to be a new technology trainer for our district, and I'm going to be serving about 310 people, 320 people. So I'm looking for advice on how to best serve that population. So my first question for you is this. Your first advice for working with a large population of teachers?
Start where they are. So don't go in with your own agenda. And even, so I worked with about a little over 1,000 teachers in my last job. And the thing that I had to remember was it'd be a lot easier to make them more like cogs and say, this is the best pathway towards innovation. But that's not how kids work, and that's not how adults work. It's a human thing. So I realized that I needed to differentiate for my teachers the same way I differentiate for kids. And so that's where the tech tools come in and are helpful. So we can use things like Google Docs and automation processes to allow them to collaboratively build their own teacher IEPs. I like to call them innovation.
Oh, very cool.
Yeah, innovation exploration plans. Then we can work together, and I can help a lot more teachers individualize their pathways and goals. So start where they are and focus on solving challenges.
So one of the things I'm really concerned about is you know, some people are, you know, in my district are still really kind of trying to push forward with the tech tools, you know, a very common problem. So one of the things that I'm really kind of is how do I, you know, I'm thinking about the differentiation, but thinking about how do I offer that? What might that look like for different people? Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think that, you know, think about like small group hands-on learning for teachers like you do with kids. We like to do things like play dates. We created that conference, so if you go to bit.ly/playdate conference, it's about like hands-on play learning. App speed dating is a lot of fun, so like have a couple people pick their favorite app and have people move through the centers, like it's almost like quick dates with the app. And then also differentiating yourself through videos, so using some of your flipped classroom knowledge and say, all right, here's going to be some quick tutorials. The good thing about when you do video tutorials is chunk it. So instead of doing a 10-minute tutorial on an app, do 5 2-minute tutorials on the same app, and that way people can pick which part of it. When you do a 10-minute tutorial, you lose a lot of people's interest. When you do 5 2-minute, they can say, I know this part, let me just skip to the part that I need. And actually, you know, psychologically watching lots of short 2-minute videos, you feel like you're spending less time in the video.
Thank you. I like that suggestion really of, you know, chunking the videos, because a lot of time we try to get it all in one shot.
Yeah.
Now, my next question for you is thinking about motivating people. How do you what is your best tool, do you think, for kind of encouraging people and inspiring people and motivating people?
Everyone has a different nugget of passion inside of them. And so I think if you try and inspire people with a thing that inspires you, you're only going to get a small subset of the people, and you're only going to get the folks who are like you. And if you want to get everyone, you need to spend the time and invest it in learning what makes them tick and what they're passionate about. And to do that, you have to talk to them one-on-one. So, you know, when I worked with all of our teachers, I would sit down and ask them what are their problems of practice, what are their magic wand wishes, and dig in from there. And if I can be really focused on what makes them tick, they're more enthused about what I have to give them.
And so kind of like a follow-up question on that is, so working with teachers on one-on-one, where do you find the best time to kind of do that? One concept I really like from an ISTE session that I took away is, you know, the best coaching is like the water cooler sessions that happen, you know, before school or after school.
I think it depends on the setup of your day and what kind of access you have to your teachers. For me, I would meet with them during their planning periods, and we'd just grab cups of coffee and sit and chat. before our school, after school. That's hard. Sometimes before school, teachers are planning and they're getting ready for their class, and after school, like they're decompressing. So just like you have to differentiate the way you meet with teachers and what you do with them, the time of day is also not going to be standardized.
So just really you're telling me about like differentiation, making those personal connections with people, and really starting with where they are.
I give them a lot of choice. I create slots of time and I say we need to meet for this amount of time for everybody, and I have the same IEP template for everybody. I send it to them ahead of time so they can do some thinking, and then I let them find the time that they would feel most open. I say, here are the things we're going to talk about. Here's what we're going to do. Our first meeting, I'm not going to train you on anything. I'm just going to learn about you. And so it's like our first date. So just tell me, when will you be in the best mental mind frame? When will you be in the best mindset for that? And they pick. They say, I'm better at lunch, or I'm better in the morning. So I give them a lot of
choice.
Leeway. And that is possible through technology.
And my last question for you, your last words of advice, your parting wisdom on anybody that is going to, be working again with groups of awesome teachers and trying to, build capacity.
Use the best pedagogy that you use for your kids with your teachers. Mm-hmm. Too often we talk about good pedagogy and don't practice it as teacher leaders. And also respect the fact of where they're coming from. Remember when you were them and how hard it was. And I mean, if getting them to meet with you means that, if you running and making a couple photocopies, because that's what they have to do that period, and you have a little bit of flexibility, that was actually a lot of goodwill. So a teacher would say, I can meet with you during my prep, but I have to get ready for this social studies test that I have to give. I have to do it this day. And I said, well, can I go? I don't have anything to do right before that meeting. Can I go make the copies for you? I'll staple them, and that way that'll be done. So then let's meet. It's a little thing for us to do, but it means a big buy-in for the teachers. So treat them with respect and like professionals, and differentiate for them like you would for your students.
Well, I just want to say thank you very much for taking the time of meeting with me. I always end with a high five, and keep inspiring people.